This type of violent arrest is now a common sight in blue cities across America. LA is under siege right now. ICE agents have descended on the city and are sweeping the LA area in efforts to meet top Trump advisor Stephen Miller's strict quota of 3,000 arrests of undocumented criminals per day. The problem is there simply aren't 3,000 undocumented criminals to arrest here daily. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. Now, as I reported recently, the vast majority of undocumented residents in America are here to work, not to commit crimes. But the Trumpian quota led by Stephen Miller will not be denied. This video went viral recently for its brutality. Narcisco Barranco, an undocumented father of 3 U.S. Marines, is seen pinned down by ICE agents. Here's more from KTLA.
Video caught the violent detainment. The man punched several times. His son says he was also pepper sprayed.
I just have a lot of anger, and I'm really sad at the same time.
To see his dad, a gardener with his weed whacker in hand, running from agents who chased him down in a parking lot in Santa Ana Saturday.
I think part of it was racial profiling. I think that they probably assumed since he was just working the landscaping that he probably had no documentation or anything like that. I'm confused and my heart is broken because I love my country.
So much so, Alejandro joined the Marines, as did his 2 other brothers who are currently on active duty. Their father, Narciso, came here from Mexico in the 90s for a better life.
My parents always taught me, respect everybody, love your country. He has no criminal history.
Others would argue he broke federal law for not having papers. His son says his dad had recently applied for citizenship.
I understand there is federal law. I know it's hard for a lot of people to understand, but I think every situation is different.
And he says because of the expense, complexity, and lack of resources, it creates a roadblock for immigrants like his father.
He wanted to do it. He was always working from sundown, sun up.
What happened to his dad, he calls inhumane, a hardworking man who raised 3 boys to love and protect America.
It makes me really mad that I wasn't there to help him out.
Barranco's son says his father's shoulder was dislocated during the incident. I reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for a comment and got this statement back from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. On June 21, Border Patrol agents arrested an illegal alien who tried to evade law enforcement. The illegal alien ran, then turned and swung a weed whacker directly at an agent's face. He then fled through a busy intersection and raised the weed whacker again at the agent. The illegal alien refused to comply every step of the way, resisting commands, fighting handcuffs, and refusing to identify himself. The agents took appropriate action and followed their training to use the minimum amount of force necessary to resolve the situation in a manner that prioritizes the safety of the public and our officers. He is now in ICE custody. And it goes on to say, reports that the officers dislocated his shoulder are false in capital letters. He was offered medical care, which he declined. Resisting arrest places those being arrested, the agents, and the community at risk. Law enforcement is now facing a 500% increase in assaults while carrying out enforcement operations, but this will not deter Customs, Border Patrol. We will continue enforcing the law and protecting American communities. Now, what law enforcement often determines as assault on an officer is a very gray area. I don't know. You watch the video and let me know what you think. Was that an appropriate use of force as they were trying to detain Barranco? I'm sure he was terrified, as many of these immigrants are. Now, should he have applied for citizenship status sooner? Yes, but our immigration system is so deeply broken and has been for decades that people who are trying to follow the immigration laws are being picked up by Trump's Gestapo as they're leaving courtrooms. We've seen this, for example, in New York, where representatives like Dan Goldman are witnessing one person, an undocumented person who's following the legal process, leave a courtroom where a judge has just released them and said, go on your way. We'll see you back in X amount of time, only to be picked up by ICE agents creepily waiting outside in the hallway, masked, not identified, and dragged off. And, this is what happened just last week with New York City Comptroller Brad Lander getting arrested. And so they're trying to do the right thing by following the laws, and they're still getting punished for it, all because Republicans refused to vote on a comprehensive, very conservative immigration bill that was written by Oklahoma Republican Senator James Langford that President Biden said that he would sign off on last year. And yet Republicans refused to do it because dear leader Donald Trump said, no, don't do that, because then I won't have an issue to run on. It is so pathetic and shameful. Republicans really do not want to fix the immigration system because it serves their freaked out base. They can continue to gin up the racism, the racists, and the fear mongering that keeps them addicted to Fox and OAN and keeps their base in their pockets. And it's really frustrating. Anyway, moving on, here's another story that I want to share with you about a local LA storyteller / journalist whose name is Anthony Orendorff. But first, I want you to please watch the last story that he posted on his Instagram account.
World, I'm in the city of angels, and this is the world that is happening. Let me begin with, I love my city, not for its overpriced rent, not for the fake stars on Hollywood Boulevard. I love LA for the people that helped raise me, the people at the taco stand that feeds me and my whole family for under $20, the people at the Santee Alley who sold me affordable jeans and made me my favorite Tupac shirt so I can be fresh on my first day of 8th grade, the flower vendors, always kind, always there when I needed to buy flowers to say thank you to my mom for raising me and my sister, the day laborers outside Home Depot who shared their heart to a kid with a flip camera so I can begin my journey as a storyteller. These people aren't just my neighbors. They are threads woven into the fabric that makes this city what it is. But they also made me. And now they are disappearing because masked men who are not from our neighborhoods are abducting them, separating them from their families and our community. So LA took to the streets. And if you never had a loved one ripped from your arms or have never had people you know at risk of being taken, it might be difficult to understand why someone might throw a rock or anything they can find to stop them from being taken. But we won't get into that because that's not even the biggest threat to this government. What this government fears more than a flying plastic water bottle or a burning car is our relentless sacrifice and commitment we give to each other to fight for a better life. A vital lesson we inherited from the very people at risk of being kidnapped right now. They have shown us what it means to struggle, what it means to endure, and what it means to take care of each other. And as the media and politicians will focus on looting and a narrative that the people are violent, what is actually happening right now is a new world being born. A system rooted in care and resistance, where people have built networks to alert each other when an ICE raid is happening, where people are standing up to federal agents and kicking them out of their neighborhoods, where people are patrolling their blocks, where people are protecting the vulnerable targets of abduction, where people are buying groceries for people who are too scared to go outside, where high school kids show up every day to the building that holds their families and their friends' families hostage, where people dance, sing, and fight back any way they can, where people take hits from the people who are paid to protect us, where people give each other free Medicare. It's clear that the only thing these federal agents know how to do is take. But our city will forever know how to give. And that will always be our way and how we win, even when it seems like we are losing everything. Thank you, LA.
I mean, what a love letter to LA. I can't watch it without tearing up, honestly. It's so touching. And what makes it more bittersweet is that just days after Anthony posted that, according to his friends and family, he was documenting an ICE raid at a Costco in Pacoima, when he was arrested by LAPD on a misdemeanor battery charge. Police say he put his hands on an officer. Here's his attorney at a rally outside the Van Nuys jail over the weekend.
Good morning. My name is Richie Serjanko. I'm Anthony Orendorf's attorney. As my client likes to say, let's go talk to the people. I'm here to set the stage of what's really happening here in Los Angeles. Anthony's a photojournalist. He was arrested while documenting an immigration raid in Pacoima in the city of Los Angeles. He was arrested by LAPD while documenting a kidnapping operation in the city of Los Angeles. Mayor Karen Bass can never, ever, ever deny that the city of LA is collaborating with DHS, ICE, CBP, and the federal immigration raids operations that are abducting our neighbors off the streets in the city of Los Angeles. As in my client's case, they are targeting people that capture what is really happening here in the city, happening on the ground. My question to the media is, how long will you allow Karen Bass to lie about what is occurring in the city and how she and LAPD are locking arms with the federal government? How much longer will the media allow the mayor to say ICE out of LA without asking her about the city's obligations to comply with the feds leading up to the 2028 Olympics? LAPD shares information with the feds through the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and they also assist the feds during their immigration raids. Not to mention the violence that the mayor and LAPD have unleashed on the brave protesters that have been out there putting their bodies on the line in defense of their neighbors. There's a lot of discussion about fascism in this country, and rightfully so. But I think a better question for here in Los Angeles is, what does it mean to be a collaborator with fascism? What does it mean to embolden and work with the people that are coming to kidnap and abduct our neighbors?
Well, I did reach out to LA Mayor Karen Bass's office and asked if it is true that LAPD is cooperating with federal agents in ICE raids and arrests. And I have yet to hear back as of this recording. It does appear that in several instances, LAPD is not exactly serving and protecting its community, but rather contributing to the mayhem. So I don't know. Curious to see whether or not I get a response back. Lastly, I will leave you with this post a creator who also lives in LA put up the other day, and her heartfelt post deeply touched me.
Okay, so I want people who don't live in Los Angeles to hear what we are going through right now. I was just talking to my girlfriend, making plans for later tonight, and she said, oh, by the way, my neighbor got taken today by ICE. My neighbor got taken. He's lived here for 30 years, at least. She was like, at least 30 years. He has 4 grown children. They were all born here. He lives with his wife, who is disabled. She said, I don't know what she's going to do. I literally don't know what his wife is going to do. They took him and they put him on a plane to El Salvador. I can't describe what is happening in this city right now. People, we are trying to raise money to give street vendors so they and their families can stay home. Do you know what that sounds like? Do you remember last year when I went to Amsterdam and went to Anne Frank's apartment and looked at the fucking history of that girl and her family hiding in their apartment? Now we are making families here hide. Children. Our community is being torn apart. The cruelty is staggering. It is not producing anything. It is not helping anything. You're not going to get a fucking job because of what they're doing here. Your life won't improve because of what they're doing here. When people are hiding in their apartments from the federal government, something has gone wrong. If you are a Christian, and you are still supporting this, you've lost your mind. Absolute brutality happening in Los Angeles right now. I don't even have a good way to end this. Absolute brutality.
I agree. I don't know how you can call yourself a Christian and be cheering this shit on. Seriously, if you don't pay attention to any other words in the Bible, look at what Jesus himself preached when he said, when you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were refusing to help me. And that is in Matthew 25:45. You can go look it up. Where are we as a country right now? Thanks for watching. Follow me on my socials below. Remember that courage is contagious. And right now, a lot of us are going to need to be courageous and stand next to the least of our brothers and sisters. Peace.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.